After the university started, I broke up with my childhood sweetheart Ronlu. He smiled and asked, "Just because I picked her up for registration at the start of the semester and not you?" "Yes," he laughed again, with a mix of helplessness and affection. "Alright, how many days will this breakup last?" Before I could answer, a call came in from the impoverished student he was sponsoring. "Don't be afraid, I'm coming." He hurriedly bid me farewell. Little did he know, what I wanted to say was forever. After chasing him for 10 years, I've decided to let go. I returned to the dorm alone, staring at the major change form on the desk, thinking back to the registration day 2 days ago. Ronlu had promised to pick me up at the station for registration when I boarded the train. I waited foolishly for hours at an unfamiliar station, missing one welcoming bus after another, only to receive a single message from him. "Faye, something urgent came up on my end, so I can't make it. You'll have to take the bus to school for registration yourself." I instinctively made excuses for him, maybe he was genuinely busy. Yet when I arrived at the dormitory building, drenched in sweat, dragging my luggage and the gift I had brought for him, but I saw him helping another girl with her luggage, who stood on tiptoe with a smile to wipe the sweat from his forehead. "Brother Roan, you've worked hard. Tilda, today you picked me up, helped me register, and carried my luggage. I don't even know how to thank you." I laughed in anger. "How about offering yourself in marriage then?" The girl blushed and hid behind Ronlu. Ronlu walked towards me with a face full of surprise. "Faye, you're here. My Faye is so amazing today, coming to register all by herself," his face full of adoration. He wanted to pinch my cheek. I pushed his hand away. "So you didn't come to pick me up because you were busy with her?" He tapped my nose and said helplessly, getting jealous again. With an expression of having no choice but to indulge me, he led me to the girl. "This is Noah Zhao, the underprivileged student I sponsor. As I've mentioned to you before, she's new here, so I'm just helping her out. Come on, say hello." Noah Zhao timidly said, "You must be Sister Faye, right?" "Hello. Brother Roan mentioned you to me. I know her. Ronlu always unconsciously brings her up whenever he calls me. We even fought countless times because of her." A belly full of grievances turned into rage. "I'm not close with you, don't force a connection. Besides, you're older than me, how can you have the nerve to call me sister?" I said coldly. Noah Zhao's eyes quickly welled up with tears as she bit her lip in restraint. Ronlu immediately tightened his grip on my wrist and said in a deep voice, "Faye, watch your tone. Apologize now." I sneered and shook off his hand. "Apologize? Not a chance." I strode off toward the dormitory. Tears of grievance fell as I lowered my head to pack my luggage, drop by drop landing on the gifts I had bought for him. The roommate who arrived early was chatting on the balcony and didn't notice my disheveled state. This freshman girl moves fast, already cozying up to the senior, and they're making quick progress. TSK, already hugging. I froze, quickly wiped away my tears, and ran to the balcony, watching the two embracing downstairs. I suddenly felt exhausted from maintaining this relationship. Perhaps it's time to let it end. When going to register, I asked the teacher to change my major. The teacher gave me a form to change majors, due in 3 days. I held my breath waiting for Ronlu to come apologize to me. If he did, I'd forgive him. But he didn't. He was busy taking care of Noah Zhao, treating her roommate to meals, and preparing for military training. The confession wall is adorned with images of them together, so harmonious and perfectly matched. Suddenly, I recall how he held my hand playing house as children. And an aunt passing by teased that I was his child bride. Ronlu retorted with utmost seriousness, "Not a child bride. Faye is my wife Tilda." Everyone praised us as the perfect golden couple, a match made in heaven. 13 years of love have left my heart aching for 3 whole days. I could clearly feel it slowly detaching from my heart, from excruciating pain to numbness. By the time I just broke up with Ronlu, only a dull ache remained in my heart. He was convinced I was just throwing another tantrum. I was certain I could never leave him. Just to keep this relationship going, I compromised and reflected on myself countless times. Even for his words, "I'll be waiting for you at the medical school of Peking University." I studied day and night and went against my parents' wishes to apply for clinical medicine. Watching the retreating figures of Ronlu carrying Noah Zhao on the confession wall, firmly writing on the form, requesting the economics and management major. In the evening, I went out for dinner with my roommate. My roommate asked me what I wanted to eat. I had no appetite and just said indifferently, "No peanuts, anything else is fine." Just after ordering, a man's voice came from the private room next door. "Roan, you're getting so close to that junior girl. Won't your childhood sweetheart get jealous again?" My hand holding the water glass paused, thinking it might be someone else with the same name. Yet the next moment, I heard Roanlu's light chuckle. She's so jealous she's threatening to break up with me again. TSK, how many times is this now?" Someone chuckled mockingly. "What does it matter? His little childhood sweetheart is nothing but a drama queen and a clingy doormat. She's the one who keeps breaking up, then begging to get back together. Only Roan could put up with such antics. Then why not just end it for good? I think Junior Zhao is much better, soft-spoken, innocent, and cute, just like a little white rabbit." Roanlu's voice carried a hint of helplessness. "I want to too, but it's arranged by the family, so I'll just have to bear with it." These words struck my nerves like a hammer, sending waves of pain through me. He lied. Roanlu's parents are both busy doctors, and since elementary school, they've been entrusting him to my parents' care. He grew up with me, and we had an extremely close bond, but my parents didn't want me to be with Roanlu. They believed that since Roanlu would become a doctor in the future, he would be too busy to take care of me and our family. The thought of their precious daughter having to manage the household alone in the future made them utterly unwilling. Snapping back to reality amid my roommate's laughter, I saw them mouthing the words, "jerk." They whispered mockingly, calling Qingmai foolish and pitiful. I lowered my eyelids to hide the confusion and tears in my eyes. "Hello, one dish, please." Noah Zhao, dressed in a waiter's uniform, brought the dish up and froze for a moment when he saw me. I pretended not to notice and forced a fake smile, saying, "The food's here, let's eat." Seeing that I ignored her, she bit her lip and left. Dishes were served one after another. Lost in thought, I absent-mindedly ate what was in front of me, until one of my roommates exclaimed, "Hey, wait a minute. This dish has a peanut flavor. Who ordered it?" The muscles in my throat suddenly contracted and swelled. A suffocating sensation rushed over me, and I gasped for air. My roommates noticed my symptoms and asked in panic, "What's wrong with you?" With a hoarse voice, I uttered, "Allergy. Nuts, hose, pytal." My roommate panicked and tried to help me to the hospital. Noah Zhao suddenly burst in and stopped us. Sorry, I served the wrong dish just now. Get out of the way. We need to go to the hospital." Noah Zhao bit her lip, looking troubled. "You can't leave. You ate this dish and haven't paid for it yet." The roommate retorted, "You served the wrong dish, causing my classmate to have an allergic reaction. Not only do you refuse to compensate, but you still expect us to pay. Dream on." Noah Zhao's eyes instantly reddened. "Classmates, I'm a part-time student from a poor family. You all have money to eat out, so surely you can afford to pay this bill. Could you please not make things difficult for me? If you skip out on the bill, the boss will deduct it from my pay." Hearing these words, I was so angry I could barely breathe, pulling at my roommate's sleeve, wanting her to take me away first, but unable to speak. Noah Zhao kept blocking the way, demanding money, yet the moment she saw Roanlu from next door come out, tears instantly fell. "Brother Roanlu shielded her behind him. "It's okay, I'm here." I looked up at him, my swollen throat allowing only a whisper, "Lu." Roanlu immediately noticed something was wrong and moved toward me with concern, but was held back by Noah Zhao. "Brother Roan, Sister Faye is probably still angry with me. I delivered the wrong dish. So she pretended to have an allergy to make me pay." She sobbed softly. "I know I was wrong, but I've already run out of living expenses for this month." Roanlu glanced at the dishes in the private room, didn't see any peanuts, and immediately believed Noah Zhao's words. He said helplessly, "Faye, you were the one who initiated the breakup. Why are you making things difficult for Noah now? Hurry up and pay the bill." The roommate beside me suddenly realized. So I'm the stupid childhood friend scumbag they were talking about. After an awkward moment, they immediately let go of my arm. I'm starting to wonder if I'm pretending to be allergic for love. Everyone has taken a stand against me. I opened my mouth to explain, but only a hoarse sound came out. All I could do was tremble, pull paper money from my pocket, throw it on the ground, and stagger away. Someone behind asked, "She seems genuinely unwell, it's just that her lie was exposed. And she's putting on a tough act." "Don't bother," Ronlu said in a low, angry voice. "She needs to learn her lesson." My heart ached intensely, and I bit my lip hard to keep the tears from falling, but the lack of oxygen to my brain made me recall my first allergic reaction, that time when none of the adults were at home. Ronlu came over to play and gave me a peanut candy. I ate it and instantly had an allergic reaction. Choking, he cried while carrying me on his back to the hospital. I still remember that warm, thin yet incredibly reassuring back. Ever since then, he's been extra careful. He would always ask if there were any peanut ingredients in anything I ate. She even complied with Lu's parents' wishes to study medicine, hoping to better protect me. But everything changed after he sponsored Noah Zhao. Darkness engulfed my consciousness, taking away the pain in my heart. In the end, all I remember is falling into an embrace that carried the scent of fur. I stayed in the hospital for a day, but thinking about preparing for the welcome party's performance, I checked myself out. However, when I returned to the dorm, my roommates mocked me. Believing I was faking an allergy to cause trouble, I directly threw the hospital medical records in front of them, and when they saw severe allergic asphyxia, their eyes widened in shock. Stammering without knowing what to say, I stopped paying attention. The teacher already said that after the orientation party, I would be transferred to another campus and change dormitories. It said that the dean of the School of Economics and Management will attend. If I can make a good impression, I might have a chance to be admitted to the Guanghua class. So from now on, I'll be doing military training during the day and practicing piano in the music room at night. During that time, Ronlu sent me messages, but I couldn't be bothered to respond and simply blocked him. The day before the welcome party, I ran into him again when I went to pick up a package. He was holding my package in his hand. I reached out and said bluntly, "Give it to me." He held the package in one hand, his lips curled into that same roguish smile as always. "Such a temper. Want it? Add my WeChat back, and I'll give it to you." This package contained the performance dress my father had sent me. I stared at Ronlu's smile. He seemed completely unaware that I had narrowly escaped death just days before. I took a deep breath, pulled out my phone, and called Uncle Lu. He snatched the phone from me in an instant, and I tried to grab it back. He held it high and tapped lightly on the screen. "Little Faye, don't be mad. I need to impress my advisor. I'll be helping in the lab over National Day for more than half a month. It's been over half a month without contact. I can't bear it." "But can you?" I said angrily. "Go if you want to. It's none of my business. We've already broken up." Ronlu smiled helplessly, pulling me into his embrace, and planted a gentle kiss on the top of my head. "Silly girl, how many times do I have to say I like you before you'll believe me?" He was saying all these sweet nothings, but I just felt sick. How could he manage to two-time, showing favoritism again and again while still claiming to like me? I broke free and ran away, forgetting to take the evening gown. Sent him a message. "The package contains a dress. Bring it to me now. I need it for the welcome party." It took him a long time to reply. "It's too late today. I'll give it to you tomorrow. Good night, little Faye." After that, there was no response to my messages. I feel a bit restless, but I can only wait until tomorrow. However, when I asked again the next day, he said, "Faye, I'm busy during the day. I'll bring it to you in the evening." I took deep breaths to calm the restlessness inside me. "Ronlu, tonight's performance is very important to me. You must deliver the dress early." As the performance approached, I kept calling his phone backstage. Suddenly, the announcement came from outside. "Welcome freshman Noah Zhao and senior Ronlu for their piano duet Aino Hana. Hello, the number you dialed is not answered." I pulled back the curtain and saw Noah Zhao wearing the dress my mother made for me, sitting under the lights and performing a duet with Ronlu. I overheard someone say, "That dress on Junior Zhao is so beautiful, and she looks perfect with Senior Lu." Yeah, that glance they just shared, oh my, so sweet. I heard Senior Lu joined out of friendship, just to support Junior Zhao and make her shine. My hand was clenched so tightly that I didn't even notice the pain as my nails dug into my palm. Secret Base was Ronlu's favorite anime theme song, and it was also the first piece we played together. He once said, "My heroine is little Faye, and I will never lose my heroine," but his heroine no longer wants him. I closed my eyes for a moment, then turned and walked away. Ronlu called me right after stepping off the stage, but I immediately blocked him, changed into a spare dress, and went on stage. The stage lights focused on me. I took a deep breath while staring at the piano in front of me, then slowly straightened my back. I played As You Wish flawlessly, finally releasing all the pent-up frustration in my heart. Clap, clap. Suddenly, enthusiastic applause erupted from the audience. I turned around and saw that many people in the crowd had teary eyes. I poured my emotions into this song and performed beyond my usual level, unexpectedly moving many people. With a smile, I bowed in gratitude and took my final bow. Ronlu ran over and hugged me. "Faye, you played amazingly." I pushed him away with a cold expression. "Senior, please keep your distance from me." He ruffled my hair and handed me a bag, his face filled with helplessness. "Are you angry again? You have no idea how much I've done for you." He went on explaining by himself. "Last time you faked an allergy and then reported it, which got Noah fired. The plan to buy a dress for the performance with part-time earnings fell through. And the poor girl cried for several nights in anxiety. Luckily, your gown arrived just in time. Lend it to her for her performance first, then change it back for yours, repaying a favor without delaying your show. Aren't I clever?" I had no mind to listen to him and directly took out the clothes to inspect them. The hem of the dress was torn, with the scattered rhinestones in disarray. My hands trembled uncontrollably as I held the dress. Ronlu also saw it, his voice tinged with a hint of panic. "Faye, I didn't know this would happen. Noah didn't mean to. I'll buy you another one." My eyes stinging, I slapped him directly and shouted, "What do you mean she wears it first before me? To humiliate me by wearing it? And get this straight, this is the only dress my mom ever made for me, her keepsake she left me. What gives you the right to take Noah Zhao's? How are you going to make up for it? Taking without asking is stealing, don't you understand? Ronlu, you've really let me down." Noah Zhao came out of nowhere and snatched the dress from my hands, eyes reddening, tears trembling at the lashes, barely holding on. "Faye, don't blame Ronji, it's all my fault. Let me mend your dress for you." "Okay, I'll definitely fix it properly." My expression darkened completely as I reached out. "Give it back to me." Ronlu seemed to have found a chance to make amends and suddenly hugged me. "Faye, be good, trust me this once. I promise I'll fix your dress." Noah Zhao caught Ronlu's glance and ran off with my dress. Furious, my eyes turned red, but Ronlu lowered his head and kissed the corner of my eye. "I promise, I'll return it exactly as it was." "Okay, don't be angry." The old me might have been thrilled, but now all that's left is disgust. After returning, I received a notice from the School of Economics and Management. After the National Day holiday, I could report to the Guanghua class at the School of Economics and Management campus. I breathed a sigh of relief and started packing my things. 3 days later, Ronlu sent me a message. "Faye, I've fixed your clothes for you." Me, "Great, I'll come get them." "When and where?" "There's a lover's mountain in the capital city. If you accompany me to climb to the top tomorrow, I'll give you ~mischievous. JPG*. You must come. If you do, I'll return your skirt to you." I didn't want to pay attention, but that skirt was made by my mother for my piano competition before she passed away. Carrying her blessings and love, it's very important to me. The next day I arrived at the foot of Lover's Mountain, only to see Noah Zhao. I called Ronlu over a dozen times, but no one answered. She smugly pulled up a photo. The photo was likely taken at the mountaintop, with a heart-shaped arrangement of balloons on the green lawn. Ronlu was tying pink ribbons around the nearby trees. "Stop fighting. Brother Ron is helping me prepare a confession ceremony and doesn't have time to answer your call." Realizing I'd been tricked, I turned around angrily to leave. Noah Zhao, however, said with a leisurely smile, "Leaving? Fine, I actually quite like that dress of yours. I'll wear it later when I accept Ron's confession." Furious, I slapped her across the face. "Are you that shameless?" She laughed recklessly. "What does shamelessness matter? Roan still likes me best. If Roan sees these marks on my face, do you think he'll completely ruin your dress? I heard this dress is very important. My hands trembled slightly with anger, but I didn't dare to take the risk and could only run toward the mountain. Noah Zhao's eyes flickered as he followed. However, when I reached halfway up the mountain, a sharp pain shot through my foot, and sweat beaded on my forehead. Trembling, I lifted my foot to look. A rusted animal trap had clamped down on my ankle. Instantly staining the ground with blood, Noah Zhao strolled past with a smug expression. Oh dear, how careless. Tilda, looks like you won't make it to the summit, so the dress will have to be mine. Tilda, I knew this was undoubtedly her doing, and I gritted my teeth so hard they nearly shattered. The pain made my head spin in waves, and I suppressed my hatred to pull out my phone and call for help. She snatched it away and threw it down the mountain, sneering, trying to call for help, dream on. I lunged at her to grab her, but she ran off with a cold smirk. Watching her retreating figure, a chill settled in my heart. This mountain is called Lover's Mountain, but being in the suburbs, not many people come here. I tried to pry open the animal trap, but it was in vain. I sat on the ground in a sorry state. Crawling down step by step, grievance, pain, and fear poured out with my tears. The scorching sun overhead quickly gave me heat stroke. Weak and powerless, I crouched by the roadside. Thinking I might die here unnoticed, the silent mountains echoed with my wailing cries. Suddenly, a shadow fell before me, and a deep voice spoke. Why do you always look so pitiful every time I see you, little crybaby? Roan Lu gazed contentedly at the mountaintop venue. Tents, string lights, flowers, balloons, and ribbons were all set up here. He had even asked his roommate to bring a guitar up the mountain, planning to play a song to set the mood when confessing his feelings. Several of Roan Lu's friends gathered around him, sighing in admiration. Only Brother Lu could make a confession so romantic. Your childhood sweetheart must be moved to tears, right? Roan Lu seemed to picture my touched expression and smiled smugly. He had indeed promised me before that he would officially confess to me once I entered university. In my senior year of high school, I also relied on this fantasy to get through, but he didn't know I had already given up. No choice. We had a little argument recently, and she's really mad. I definitely need to prepare a nice surprise for her. One roommate chimed in. Hey, don't push your luck. Sure, your childhood sweetheart can be a bit dramatic, but she's seriously gorgeous. Exactly. You never told us earlier that the school beauty Fei Sun is your childhood sweetheart. You should have introduced her to us long ago. Roan Lu's eyes flashed with triumph. I became famous after that evening party. In the campus crush poll, my votes left everyone else far behind. Many people were asking for my contact information. Lately, I've been giving him the cold shoulder, and he's a bit worried that someone might steal me away after he returns from his experiment. So he meticulously planned this confession, intending to record it and post it on the campus network to declare his claim. He even had his father, Mr. Lu, propose to my family. He was so confident that he believed I would definitely come. However, by 6 o'clock, when I didn't show up, unease began to creep into his heart. She's coming. Roan Lu let out a sigh of relief. He raised his hand to signal his friend to start playing, straightened his clothes once more, and with flowers in hand, put on a smile again. The girl, blindfolded and wearing a dress he recognized, was led toward him by a friend, but as the girl approached, Roan Lu froze in shock. Misinterpreting his reaction as shyness, the friend pushed the girl into his arms, while cheers erupted from the crowd. Snapping out of his daze, Roan Lu tried to shove her away, exclaiming, "Why is it you?" The girl hugged him tightly and whispered, "Brother Roan, don't push me away. Sister Fei said she hates you and won't come, but Brother Roan, you still have me. I really like you. Can we be together?" Roan Lu pushed her away forcefully. "Impossible. You're lying. Everyone stop. Stop right now." The unease in his heart surged again. How could his Fei possibly hate him? Noah Zhao was shoved to the ground, her blindfold slipping off. The people around them sensed something was wrong and fell silent. Roan Lu rummaged for his phone and saw the message I sent him. "I'm at the foot of the mountain. Where are you?" Followed by over a dozen missed calls, a wave of panic began to surge through him. The panic of unanswered calls over and over again completely consumed his mind. His hands trembled uncontrollably. Suddenly, a thought struck him, and he grabbed Noah Zhao, his voice dark and menacing. "Speak, what happened? Didn't I tell you to pick her up? Why didn't she come? Why are you wearing this dress?" Noah Zhao's eyes flickered as she covered her face and cried, "She really didn't want to come, and even slapped me, telling me to get lost. I couldn't bear to see my brother heartbroken, so I pretended to be her." There was indeed a faint slap mark on Noah Zhao's face, and whispers began to rise around them. Ronlu didn't believe it, threw down the flowers, and rushed down the mountain. No matter how much they called after him, his steps didn't falter for a second. I called him over a dozen times. Even he, slow as he was, realized something was wrong. He rushed to the dormitory building, begging the dorm supervisor to find me. The dorm supervisor saw he was almost crying from anxiety and asked, "What's the student's name? Which major? Which dorm does she live in?" Ronlu quickly replied, "Fei Sun, freshman in the clinical program, lives in." He hesitated. He suddenly remembered that during the start of the semester, he had only escorted Noah Zhao to her dorm, and he didn't take me there. So to this day, I still don't know which dorm room I specifically live in. The dorm supervisor looked at Ronlu suspiciously. "You don't know the dorm number, but surely you know which class you're in." Ronlu was stunned. Her heart felt as if it were being squeezed by an invisible hand. Why didn't he even know this? Something seemed to slip out of his control. Ronlu still managed to find out my class and dorm room number through someone. However, the dorm supervisor said there was no such person in the dormitory. He rushed into the dormitory building like a madman. "Impossible. My Fei must be inside. I need to find her." The dorm supervisor called security, and Ronlu was taken away. His parents heard the news and called to talk to him. Ronlu reluctantly joined his advisor's research group. I leaned against the man's broad back, watching the sweat trickle down the side of his face, my ears feeling a little warm. This should be the second time I've troubled him. The first time was during that allergy incident, when he carried me and rushed to the hospital at top speed. According to the doctors and nurses, he stayed by my side until I was out of danger. But when I woke up, there was only a caregiver watching over me. I really want to thank him properly, so I asked the caregiver for his contact information. But the caregiver says, "I don't have it either." That young man was in a hurry to leave. He just grabbed me to look after you, paid the money, and left, catching the familiar scent of fur on him. I'm certain he's the same person from last time. Summoning my courage, I say, "Can I add you as a friend? I never got to properly thank you for last time." The man chuckled lightly, the vibration resonating through his back. "Sure, but how do you plan to thank me? I've been bleeding for too long, and with the heat stroke, my head is utterly dizzy." I heard myself say, "You name it, I'll do whatever I can." Before losing consciousness, I heard him call out to me, "That's what you said, little crybaby, little crybaby, stop crying, they've all left." I seemed to have dreamed of my kindergarten self, a chubby little boy standing beside me and saying, "I have candy here, little crybaby, can you stop crying?" Little me instantly stopped crying, teary eyes fixed on the candy in the chubby boy's hand. All for me, Thank you for helping me chase away the bad kids." The chubby little boy smiled until his eyes turned into slits, with two small dimples appearing by his lips. I ate a piece of candy and smiled until my eyes also turned into slits. The chubby boy's plump little hand wiped away the teardrops at the corner of my eye. "Little crybaby, don't cry anymore from now on. You're prettier when you smile, Tilda. We can't beat them anyway. So how else can we scare them off if not by crying?" I said, sucking on my candy, completely unfazed. Since I was little, I knew that crying kids get more milk and extra attention from teachers, so every time I got bullied, I'd wail at the top of my lungs, and the other kids would either run away or get scolded by the teacher. But it also meant I had no friends, only a little chubby kid would play with me. Xiao Pang held my chubby little hand and said with great seriousness, "I'll protect you. I'll learn martial arts to protect you." "Okay," I nodded indifferently, but Xiao Pang smiled happily. "Little crybaby, you have to wait for me." "Okay, Tilda." But later, the little chubby boy who promised to protect me disappeared. Crybaby. I slowly opened my eyes to meet a handsome, stern face. With deep eyes filled with anxiety, little chubby, the man relaxed into a smile, familiar dimples appearing at the corners of his lips. You finally remembered. You'll have to get to know me again. I'm Lee Zimo, a sophomore in the Economics and Management Department at Peking University, Guanghua class, your direct senior. Even though we hadn't seen each other for over a decade, interacting with him felt like reuniting with an old friend. He pulled out a video clip. Do you need me to help you with this? How strange, he was asking for my opinion instead of making decisions for me directly. Quite unlike Ronlu, I watched the person in the video, a lingering hatred for her still in my heart. Can you help me call the police? He raises an eyebrow. Just call the police. I look at him in confusion. And help me get that dress back. He lowered his gaze and patted my head, a faint, inscrutable smile playing at the corners of his lips, still the little crybaby with a soft heart. By the way, should we give Uncle a call? He glanced at my foot. Ever since Mom passed away, Dad has cherished me like the apple of his eye. Upon learning about my injury, he rushed to the capital city the very next day. Even though I was no longer in pain, tears still fell uncontrollably the moment I saw my dad. He hugged me with heartache. My dear Faye, you've suffered so much. That brat Ronlu still wants to marry you. In his dreams, I looked puzzled. And Dad said that Uncle Lu had come to propose marriage a few days ago. He wants me and Ronlu to get married soon. Dad, you didn't agree, did you? Dad lifted his head proudly. Of course not. I haven't even asked for my precious daughter's opinion yet. How could I just agree randomly? However, even if you want to agree now, I won't allow it. Ronlu isn't worthy of you. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door, and Lee Zimo pushed it open from outside. He wore a refined smile on his face. Hello, Uncle. I'm here on behalf of the Guanghua class to check on Song. Dad looked at me in confusion, and I pursed my lips. I switched to the business management major, and he's my senior. Both this time and the last time with my allergies, I owe it all to him. I'm not sure how the conversation went, but soon my dad was full of praise for Lee Zimo, nodding frequently. Before leaving, he even patted Lee Zimo on the shoulder. Faye is in your care now, Zimo. She's been spoiled by me, so please bear with her. Uncle, you're too kind. Faye is hardworking and ambitious, very well behaved and sensible. Both her classmates and teachers adore her. My father smiled until fine wrinkles appeared at the corners of his eyes, then turned to me and said, Faye, you must listen to Zimo obediently. Understand, Dad still has work at the company and will come to see you in a couple of days. I feel like I've been sold out. And my dad is still helping them count the money. I stayed in the hospital for 7 days, and Lee Zimo and the caregiver took care of me the whole time. During that time, I was bored and scrolling through a certain app. I saw Noah Zhao posting online as Ronlu's girlfriend, updating her love diary. Inside are the gifts Ronlu gave her over these 3 years, his words of encouragement, the romantic confession at Lover's Mountain, and their photos together at parties. From the deep mountains to the city university, she reunited with the young man she had sponsored. These experiences turned her into a minor internet celebrity, with many leaving messages of blessing below her posts. A couple of days ago, she started crying online about how I was persistently pestering Ronlu and shamelessly seducing him. Many people still want to track down the school, calling me a homewrecker who knowingly became the other woman, a wealthy heiress who took by force. But before they could arrive, a photo of Noah Zhao being taken away by the police surfaced online. Soon after, the high-definition video of her throwing away my phone and refusing to help in a life-or-death situation went viral, instantly topping the trending charts. My family's lawyer timely released the indictment. Charges against Noah Zhao include intentional assault, robbery, and defamation. Concerned netizens also dug up Noah Zhao's past from middle and high school. She stole money from her parents to buy designer clothes and enroll in expensive piano lessons, falsifying poverty certificates to replace genuinely impoverished students and obtain financial aid, collaborating with pursuers to bully and sexually harass female classmates who were more attractive than her, ultimately driving one to commit suicide by jumping off a building. Her numerous misdeeds are too numerous to mention. The school promptly expelled her, and the court sentenced her to 5 years in prison. Noah Zhao's parents came all the way from the remote mountains, kneeling at the school gate to beg for forgiveness and to keep their child's student status. They even came to inquire about me, attempting to emotionally blackmail me. However, Li Zimo intercepted them all. As for me, I felt a wave of fear. What if she had been more ruthless that time? Li Zimo held my cold hand. Were you scared? Did the little crybaby forget? I said I would protect you. I froze for a moment, as if remembering something. All these are you. He just smiled. I didn't do anything. It was all the help from kind-hearted netizens. As he spoke, he took out a gift bag from behind him, a gift to celebrate your discharge from the hospital. See if you like it. I was surprised to find that the bag contained the very dress my mother had made for me. It's exactly the same as the one my mom gave me, with the tear at the hem perfectly mended. The joy of recovering a lost treasure overshadowed the lingering fear. Running my fingers over the restored sequins on the dress, I sincerely said, "Thank you," but my voice was tinged with a hint of tears. Li Zimo ruffled his bangs and teased, "Little crybaby, are you going to start sniffling again?" I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He personally escorted me to the dormitory door and earnestly asked my roommates to take care of me. The roommates, sipping the milk tea he brought, grinned and patted their chests in assurance. My heart suddenly felt warm. So there really are guys who are considerate in every detail, attentive and responsive to everything. Because of my foot injury, my roommate, classmates, and teachers have all been especially caring toward me. After class that day, Li Zimo, as usual, helped me to go eat. On the way, I was discussing the economic theory the teacher had explained with him when suddenly a figure flashed by us. "Who the hell are you? Let go of my Faye." Li Zimo was punched by Ronlu. At the critical moment, he pushed me away but ended up falling to the ground himself. Li Zimo clenched his jaw, spat out a mouthful of blood, and fixed a dark gaze on Ronlu. "Faye, wait over there. Don't come closer." Ronlu glanced at me with reddened eyes and swung his fist again, aiming for Li Zimo. "Faye, who gave you the right to call her that?" The two immediately started wrestling on the ground, but Li Zimo had trained in Taekwondo since childhood. Ronlu was quickly pinned down and beaten, ending up bruised and swollen before being pulled apart by arriving security guards. I hurried forward to support Li Zimo. "Are you okay, Faye? What are you doing? I'm your boyfriend." Ronlu's eyes were bloodshot as he yelled at me. I looked at him calmly. "We've already broken up." Ronlu's eyes widened, his voice trembling with tears. "No, we've made up. We never broke up." He suddenly glared at Li Zimo fiercely and struggled towards me. "I know it. You still love me. You must have found a decoy on purpose to make me jealous. Faye, you don't have to. I've always liked you, loved you." His belated confession made me nauseous. Li Zimo suddenly placed his hand on my shoulder, and Ronlu struggled even more fiercely. I stared at Ronlu and spoke again. "Ronlu." He stopped struggling and stared at me intently, a bad premonition rising in his heart. "I'll say it again. We're done. Please don't bother me anymore. You're talking nonsense." "Faye son, you're lying. Uncle Song already agreed to marry you to me. You're my fiancé. We're still together." I sighed. "Ronlu, there's no chance for us, Uncle and Auntie." I don't know how to say they deceived him again. After all, Ronlu's parents often tricked him into studying when he was a child. At that moment, Li Zimo leaned against me pitifully and said, "Faye, I'm in pain. Could you take me to the infirmary?" Having never heard him complain of pain before, my attention instantly shifted. "Where does it hurt? Why didn't you say something earlier?" I said while helping him walk outside. Ronlu's roar came from behind, like a trapped beast's final wail. "Faye son, come back, you can't leave." I didn't look back. The early autumn infirmary was stiflingly hot as I carefully applied medicine to Li Zimo. Up close, this face was ridiculously handsome. His deep, almond-shaped eyes gazed at me unblinkingly. Thump, thump. The sound of my heartbeat echoed in my ears. Embarrassed, I lowered my gaze and said, "If you keep staring, I'll leave." His slender, well-defined fingers suddenly encircled my fair wrist, gently yet firmly. "Don't go, I'm not stupid." His meticulous care for me during this time has been nothing short of obvious. He likes me, actually. I've heard classmates whisper about it. The aloof heartthrob of the economics department, indifferent to everything. He treated the whole class to milk tea and meals just to help me fit in better. There was also the matter with Noah Zhao last time. He handled everything personally. He quietly took care of all this, not wanting to burden me in the slightest or let me get into any trouble. Whenever I reach out to him, he responds to me anytime, unlike Ron Lu, who always keeps me waiting. Whenever I want to do something, he encourages and helps me, unlike Ron Lu, who only leaves me to struggle alone. He knows I'm afraid to enter a relationship again, so neither of us has pierced through that thin layer of paper. My heartbeat grew faster, with a hint of fear that he might seize the moment to confess. An ambiguous silence spread between us, and I heard an almost imperceptible sigh. A warm, large hand gently ruffled my hair, full of affection. "I won't eat you, don't be afraid." An inexplicable impulse surged in my heart as I leaned closer. The early autumn wind swept away the lingering ambiguity in the room, leaving only a stunned Li Zimo behind. After a long while, he covered his eyes and murmured, "I've really messed up this time." A crimson smile played at her lips, impossible to suppress, while her ears burned with a scorching heat. That evening, as I returned to the dorm, Ron Lu stopped me. I knew if I didn't make things clear, this would drag on endlessly. We went to the nearby bubble tea shop. He skillfully ordered a cup of bawang chaji for me and eagerly placed it in front of me. This time, he was much calmer. "Faye, are you breaking up with me just because I took Noah Zhao on an assignment?" I nodded slightly. He scratched his head in frustration. "I've told you there's nothing between us. I just felt sorry for her and wanted to help. Why won't you believe me? I don't like her, really. I only like you. I dream of marrying you." He gripped my hand tightly, almost painfully. "You have to believe me. We've shared over a decade of feelings." I slowly and firmly withdrew my hand. "How can I believe? Believe in your repeated arguments with me over her. Believe in you leaving me waiting endlessly at an unfamiliar station. Believe in you standing by her side, suspecting that I faked an allergy to harm her, nearly costing me my life. Do you believe you took my mother's belongings to dress her and accompany her in a duet? Or do you believe that, knowing I disliked her, you still let her take me up the mountain, and then abandoned me halfway up?" A series of rhetorical questions left Ron Lu stunned. "What?" I didn't explain but continued speaking indifferently. "You're just so sure that I like you and can't live without you. Enjoying both my little attentions to please you and Noah Zhao's admiration and affection for you. But people change, and affection fades bit by bit with disappointment. So, Ron Lu, I don't like you anymore." His fists clenched tightly, trembling slightly, but suddenly he lowered his head. "But I still like you." Tears fell in large drops onto the table. "Faye, I know I was wrong. I'll cut off contact with her. Please forgive me this once. Can we start over?" Watching him lower his proud head, my heart remained utterly calm. I seemed to have completely let go. My phone vibrated, and I glanced down at it, my lips curling into an involuntary smile. I stood up and pushed the untouched milk tea toward him. "Ron Lu. It's Noah Zhao who likes to drink TG, not me. Besides, I've already started over." He lowered his voice and asked, "Was it that guy from earlier today?" Recalling that kiss from earlier today, my ears turned red. "It's obvious." Ron Lu sat there covering his face, sobbing uncontrollably, overwhelmed to the point of utter silence. Yet the next day, he appeared again at the dormitory entrance, bringing breakfast. Blocking my way, he said, "I'm sorry, I didn't know Noah Zhao would." I strode forward with unwavering focus toward Li Zimo, who wasn't far away. I let Li Zimo boldly interlace her fingers with mine as she cooed, "I feel like eating rice noodle rolls today. Did you bring some?" Li Zimo smiled and raised the bag she was holding in her other hand. "From the stone-milled rice noodle roll shop outside campus, sweet and spicy, right?" Ron Lu threw his breakfast and shouted at me, "Faye, for breaking up with me over someone you've just known for a few days, you'll definitely regret it, and I'll keep waiting for you." Ron Lu started skipping classes. Squatting outside my dormitory door and sitting in the last row of my classroom, it seemed like he was waiting for me to break up with Li Zimo. But my relationship with Li Zimo grew even stronger. He would secretly act coquettish and jealous with me, kissing me until my legs went weak and then begging for hugs. I became addicted to this. Gap Mo, of the aloof campus heartthrob. We became the couple everyone in our department envied. Roan Lu didn't last much longer before Uncle Lu angrily came to take him away, forcing him to attend class, but he still wouldn't behave, always skipping classes. He did call me once, asking me to persuade Roan Lu. I told him about my past experiences, and knowing he was in the wrong, he didn't call again. Later, I was busy with my studies and dating Lee Zimo, so I didn't have time to deal with it anymore. I only heard the name Roan Lu again during the new year. Dad sighed endlessly, saying Roan Lu had no interest in studying, skipped too many classes, and failed the final exams, leading to being held back a grade. Roan's parents were too busy with work to manage him, so they had no choice but to withdraw him from school and send him to a rehab center to straighten out. In the end, Roan Lu slit his wrists there and was brought back home. His parents worried themselves gray-haired, quitting their jobs to take him everywhere for medical treatment. He went from being the model child in everyone's mouth to becoming a cautionary tale. During the New Year holidays, Roan Lu's parents came begging to my father, asking me to go see Roan Lu, only to be told I wasn't home. At that time, I was watching the fireworks at Disneyland with Lee Zimo. Under the dazzling fireworks, the scent of fur from Lee Zimo enveloped me. Little crybaby, do you still remember that time at Lover's Mountain when you said you wanted to repay me? I smiled and replied, I remember. Tell me, what do you want in return? Letting the sound of my heartbeat drown in the crowd, he gently kissed my forehead and said, I want to stay with you. To see you happy for a lifetime. Okay. I froze for a moment, then buried myself in his embrace. Muffled, I replied, okay.